Welcome everyone to Dead Talk Live. I'm your host Viz from Walking Dead Now. Want to welcome all of our viewers tonight, new and regular. If you are joining us for the first time tonight and want more information about our show, please visit our website at deadtalklive.com. And also please visit our YouTube channel if you have not already done so. The channel is called Walking Dead Now. Please subscribe. If you're on YouTube right now, please go ahead and hit the thumbs up on this broadcast if you enjoy it. Saz is going to be handling the text chats tonight. Andrew and Maria are going to be moderating throughout the platforms. I hope everyone's enjoying their Tuesday evening. Just saying hello to a few people. B. Kyle is with us on YouTube saying, I love The Walking Dead. Justin is also with us, as is Steven, Sabina, Alejandro are all with us on YouTube. There's Xanders. Hey, Xanders, welcome back. Sarah is with us on Facebook, as is Lindsay and Celeste. Zavi is also with us from Thailand on Facebook. Singer Chick is with us on YouTube as well. Welcome everyone. Let's see, on the Instagram side, we have Dem with us. Samperson92 is joining us. Kabaha, Praveen, Zola, BADK is with us. 5UOUA is with us. I Am is with us. Welcome everyone on Instagram. So, before we get started tonight, the Walking Dead official Twitter account dropped this hysterical tweet. And I want to share this with you guys, okay? Here it is, okay? This is from the official The Walking Dead Twitter account. And here's what it says. To the people who reply to our tweets with random, out-of-context nonsense, thank you. You are helping our comment, count, and impressions. To be honest, the more random, the better. And the reason why I mentioned that is because I actually understand what they're talking about. Whoever handles the Twitter, at least social media account for The Walking Dead, me or him and her should get together and have a nice long chat, because we should just share stories. We're surpassed 330,000 combined followers on the Walking Dead Now network throughout Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We're all very proud of that. But, you know, with that amount of followers comes some pretty out there stuff that you get messaged with. And videos that people send you. No hate mail. No, I don't get any of that because I have the greatest followers. You guys are awesome. I love you. Not a single piece of hate, disrespect message, none of that. I mean, that's how awesome you guys are. And considering the amount of followers we have, I mean, I was expecting at this point to start getting some like, what the hell are you doing? You know, type of messages. But none of that. You guys are awesome. Welcome to Pitt with us on Facebook. Alphonse is also with us on Facebook as well. Teresa is joining us on Facebook. Seaman is also on Facebook. Kaden is with us on YouTube. Alejandro is with us on Facebook. So anyway, going back to that tweet, I can totally understand where that came from. And yeah, you guys cannot imagine just some of the really far off stuff and random stuff that people will send you of videos and, you know, the messages. And when I initially started this, especially Dead Talk Live, our show right now, I really wanted to make sure that I responded to everyone that messaged me. But as the followers grew, as the show started to grow in popularity, that really became less and less sustainable. I still respond to a majority of the people that message me. So please do not get discouraged in messaging me. I will do my best to respond back. Just to give you a classic example, last night I got a message from someone that has been repeatedly messaging me, I love you. Okay, so I'm like, all right, I don't want to keep ignoring this person. So this is on Instagram. So what I did is I hearted the comment. Oh boy. Yeah. Ugh. Okay. You guys can imagine after that. So anyway, I just thought that was a funny tweet. I totally understand where they're coming from, and I wanted to share with you guys. I feel very comfortable sharing all the behind the scenes stuff that goes on here. Like I said, no hate mail though. None of that. You guys are awesome. You're the best followers in the world. And, at over 330,000 followers, you would think I would get at least some, but no. Joshua wants a shout out on Facebook. So shout out to Joshua M. Sawal. Ghost Survivors is with us on YouTube. Welcome. Lindsay Sparks on Facebook is with us saying, I love tuning in every night. Best part of my night. So thank you, Viz. Thank you, Lindsay, for joining us. It is our honor to have you with us. Summer is also joining us on YouTube. Sarah Louise Stocks has given us 2 thumbs up. Z Lawn is with us on Instagram. Marie wants to know what happened after that. Well, you can imagine, if somebody's been texting you I love you for several days and you don't want to ignore them and you just heart that comment. Yeah, the I love yous don't just stop with a thank you or anything like that. So, Samperson wants to know, Viz, have you tried watching Z Nation? And I did. I tried it for the first season, several episodes. I really gave it a chance. But once that first season episode with the Liberty Bell and them attaching the Liberty Bell to the back of a truck to kill zombies, I'm like, I can't. This is not my thing. So Noah Fishing on Instagram wants a shout out. There's your shout out, Noah Fishing. Thank you for joining us. Here's another shout out request. I am Zos on Puya. Okay, I'm sorry I probably butchered that, but I am. There's your shout out. Welcome to the show. Torres is also with us. El Garrido 1805 is also joining us. So, Argentina is present. Thank you, Torres. I love our global audience. Sarah on Facebook writes, replying to Saz. Oh, you were just replying to Saz. Saman is also with us on Facebook as well. Tiger Claw is also joining us on YouTube. Ria is with us on Facebook. All right, so let's get to some announcements and such, guys. Let's see. Undead Walking did an article on 3 things that we would like to see from Kelly in this upcoming season finale of The Walking Dead. Kelly is Connie's sister, for those of you that might have forgotten. And an interesting tidbit that I've shared before on this show, Kelly is a woman on the show, but in the comic books, the character of Kelly was a man. So for any of you guys that don't know that, there's your bit of information for today. So anyway, here are the 3 things that Undead Walking wrote about that they would like to see from Kelly in this upcoming season finale. First one, use sign language to the team family's advantage. In a beautiful moment between Kelly and Carol in season 10, episode 15, The Tower, Kelly spoke about the fact that community members are learning American Sign Language because of her. With that, I would love to see Kelly and the others that venture into the Horde start using ASL to communicate with each other. Brilliant idea. I would also like to see those left behind using it as well. Learning another language can be difficult, especially if you are older, but it shows a sense of welcoming and acceptance when we take the time to learn a language to communicate with someone that doesn't or can't speak like we do. On the show, it also has a tactical advantage when silent communication is important. I hope to see Kelly use her superpower to the advantage of our group. That's a great point right there, and we all saw it in the season 10 premiere where Daryl had the sign language book in his back pocket, you know, learning how to communicate with Connie. We know he likes her very, very much, and he wants to be able to better communicate. But it's not just Daryl, it's the rest of the community that is learning sign language. And I don't think anything on The Walking Dead is done by accident. They may have a very legitimate point in this article to where the whisperers just talk in a very low whispering voice to communicate amongst each other when they're amongst the horde. The community members can very well use sign language to do the same. Okay, number 2. Kelly should learn Connie's fate. I don't think any of us can argue with that one. The question of Connie's fate is something that I hope Kelly learns in the finale. Kelly is the person most impacted by Connie's disappearance and whether Connie is alive or not. I want Kelly to get an answer. The bond between the sisters is one of my favorites on the show, reminding me of other sibling pairings. Tyrese and Sasha, Maggie and Beth, Andrea and Amy, and Daryl and Merle that I enjoyed. I hope they settle the question in the finale rather than dragging it out till next season. I agree with that as well. We all want to know what is Connie's fate. What happened to her after her and Magna got separated when they got mixed in amongst the Whisperer horde. We're dying to find out. I am pretty positive she's still alive. As to, are we going to see her in this finale? I really don't know. It could be 50-50. Connie can just totally be glossed over because there are so many loose ends and points to address in this finale that we are getting October 4th, that Connie may very well just be glanced over. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping we get some kind of answer. I hope she just pops up. Greg Nicotero has said that the last 2 minutes of this finale are going to be jaw-dropping. Maybe that has something to do with Connie. I sure as hell hope so. Welcome to Kimmy, who's joining us on YouTube. Lindsay says this is a great article. We still have one more point to get through as well. Eric Tuber, GE, says, I want to see Daryl and Connie together. Sayman is also with us on Facebook. AMX is laughing. Let's see. AMX also writes, I guess I don't think Kelly isn't important either anymore. She's taught the group sign language, so I think she could die. No, I still think Kelly has a lot to offer. We just have not seen it yet. They have not gotten around to her character arc to even start it, really. So I don't think Kelly's going anywhere. I don't think she's going to die in this finale. Anyway, the third point they make in the article, and here's their third point, right? What we were just talking about. Kelly needs to survive. At the end of it all, the thing I want most for Kelly is for her to survive. I want to see Kelly become a key member of our group. I want to see more of her journey. There are a lot of reasons I want her to continue on the show, but the biggest one is the representation she brings as a young black woman and as a member of the deaf community. As someone who is losing her hearing, it's nice to see someone else survive and potentially thrive in a world that would be a challenge for anyone, but especially someone who is losing their hearing. Now, we all know that Connie has managed to survive quite well with losing her hearing, and I'm hoping Kelly is able to adapt to that as well. Ghost Survivors on YouTube writes, I love Connie. Eric Tuber says, like he said, he wants to see Daryl and Connie get together. Kimmy saying hello back. Welcome, Kimmy. Jennifer and John Wesley are with us on Facebook. Hello. Also, MLMG is joining us on YouTube. So welcome, MLM on YouTube. Kabaha writes, great article. Yeah, and I can actually say I agree with each and every one of those points. So, anyway, moving on to the next thing. Now, comicbook.com had this to say about Fear the Walking Dead trailer, that the teaser that we've seen. Nothing really new or exciting in this, but just some little minor points to mention. A bearded and red-eyed Morgan Jones, Lenny James, is alive, but on the run in the newest teaser for Fear, 6th season, where Virginia, played by Colby Minifie, Six, a ruthless bounty hunter, played by Demetrius Gross, on the embattled survivor. Virginia tried and failed to kill Morgan when she shot him point blank in the 5th season finale, end of the line, ultimately leaving a wounded Morgan to be torn apart by encroaching walkers. Morgan has somehow survived and returns an undetermined amount of time later with a warning for Althea, played by Maggie Grace, telling her you don't want to get mixed up in this. In a moody teaser tweeted by Fear star Danae Garcia, who plays Luciana, Morgan's group of zombie apocalypse survivors are separated and dispersed across different settlements controlled by Virginia's pioneers. This new look at the anthology-style 6th season comes after freshly released key art depicting Morgan with a grown-out beard and bloodshot eyes, ominously warned the past is dead. I'm really excited for this Fear season. Really excited to see what they're going to do. Sarah on Facebook writes, has anyone had the feeling they can't connect with a character? Sarah's is Yumiko. Don't know why, just not a character I feel at all. I think we've all had that. I've had that. And a good one, again, going back, is Kelly. I think a lot of people feel that same way about Kelly, just because her story arc has not really started yet. Even though we met her a season and a half ago, more than that. She's just been in the background. Yeah, we know she's starting to lose her hearing. Connie's been more front and center. But I think everyone has a character like that. Welcome Andrew Valentine on Instagram. So, welcome. He's waving at us as well. So, anyway, this next thing I'm going to mention falls under the category of, fans who have that overwhelming urge to go over frame by frame, whether it's a TV show or a movie, and to find little errors that they can point out. I mean, okay, that's fine. If you have the time, knock yourself out. This is in regards to the grenade that Rick finds in the series premiere of the show when he's trapped inside the tank. And that is ultimately the grenade that is used to blow their way out of the CDC when they're locked in by Jenner. Okay? So with that little disclaimer, here's what the article had to say. One viewer went online when they noticed something strange about the grenade Rick uses to shatter the windows of the CDC. They said the grenade Rick finds in the tank has an unpainted body and a blue safety lever. It's a dummy training grenade. That's the point they're trying to make. If the series had stayed true to real life, the grenade Rick uses wouldn't have been any use to him, and the gang would have been buried by the exploding facility. Okay, sure. All right, but like I've said before many, many times, guys, if you're going to analyze these shows frame by frame just on the sole intent of finding stuff that is wrong, you're going to find it. You're going to find it. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out to you guys. So, as the last bit of news for today, Screen Rant did another one of their 10 list. Okay, today's list is on the 5 reasons Merle Dixon died too soon and 5 reasons he just needed to go. I brought the article up. We're going to go through it and see what they have to say. So, hold on. It disappeared on me. There it goes. All right, so here we go. 5 reasons he had to go. 5 reasons he went too soon. Okay, too soon, number 10. Because the show needs more morally gray characters. Interestingly put, within the world of The Walking Dead, it seems like the characters are pretty clearly divided between heroes and villains. And while Merle obviously began his journey as a villain, he had moments where he displayed legitimate goodness and sincerity. Really? Okay. The series could do more with characters who are morally gray, so someone like Merle, who has shown real goodness, again, really? As well as real evil, would be an interesting addition into the mix. All right, guys, give me one good thing that Merle has done. I'm sure it's out there. I'm just drawing a blank right now. He needed a place to go, so Daryl convinced the group to take him into the prison. That's not him doing a good thing. It's because the governor turned on him. I'm just drawing a blank. So I don't know. Let's see what you guys are saying. I guess you guys can't think of anything either. Oh, Kimmy writes, saved Michonne from walkers at the motel. Okay. That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, Kimmy, good point. Very good point. AMX is laughing on Instagram. All right, Kimmy, that's a good point. We'll give him that. But as far as that being a good enough reason to fit that as him showing good, I don't know about that. Anyway, number 9, needed to go because he didn't fit in. Clearly, the main group of The Walking Dead has taken in a lot of people that might have not seemed like anyone they could ever get along with. However, it does feel like Merle is too different and has gone too far to ever really assimilate into Rick's crew. I totally agree with that. After what he did to Glenn and Maggie, it's understandable that no one wants him around, and his personality just doesn't seem like a good fit for the group. I loved Michael Rooker. I loved the character of Merle, but I think he went at the right time. I don't really think that there was any real true redemption beyond what we saw towards the end for Merle Dixon in The Walking Dead. All right, number 8, too soon, because Michael Rooker is amazing. Absolutely. Obviously, there are no slouches when it comes to The Walking Dead cast. However, Michael Rooker is an exceptional actor who did a fantastic job portraying his character. The series obviously has had a lot of character turnover, but it would have been forgivable for them to let Merle survive just so they could retain one of the best actors they had for a little while longer. I completely agree with that point. All right, number 7, he needed to go because he was an attention hog. Yes, him and Negan share that trait. Merle Dixon isn't a particularly relaxed or reserved kind of person, and it seems fair to say he absolutely dominates every scene and every conversation that he's in. The works in small doses, but in the long term, it just doesn't make sense to have one character who overruns the rest of them every time they're in a scene. And the only way to avoid that would have been to pretty drastically change the character. Number 6, too soon. He was capable of evolving. That's questionable. Merle was only on the series for a short time, and nearly everything that the audience saw of him made him seem like a completely insufferable ass. However, once he realizes that Daryl really cares about the group, Merle is ready to risk his own behind for the sake of someone who hates him, just so his brother can have a decent shot at survival. It would have been interesting to see Merle evolve even more than that. All right, good point there. All right, halfway through the list here. Number 5, why he needed to go. Because he was annoying. Ironically, one of the main appeals of Merle as a character is that he's incredibly irritating. He says everything he thinks without any kind of filters, and everything he thinks is awful. So while it can be really annoying, it's also a big change of pace from the average character. But again, this is something that works in small doses, but would likely be intolerable in larger doses. When a character's entire personality is annoying, they probably shouldn't stick around for too long. Lindsay Sparks on Facebook writes, but great performance by Michael Rooker. Absolutely. Lindsay also says Merle did get along with anyone except maybe for his brother Daryl. Yes, he didn't get along with anyone except for Daryl. Sarah on Facebook writes, imagine a Merle and Beta showdown. That would have been interesting. Sarah also says he led the walkers and sacrificed himself and did, to be fair, always care for Daryl. I do think he's lived. If he lived, he would have gone where Daryl did and helped who Daryl grouped with. Yeah, he could have. We'll never know, but it's an interesting point. EMIJ on YouTube writes, a Negan and Beta will be a great fight. Yeah, that would be interesting to see. Okay, number 4, guys. Too soon because we want more Dixon backstory. The conversations between Daryl and Merle offered a few glimmers of insight into their story growing up, but that is really all the audience ever got when it comes to the Dixon family history. It would have been really interesting to get more of it, and now that Daryl is essentially the lead character of the show, it would have made a lot more sense to build up his backstory far more than it's been built so far. Good point. As opposed to yesterday's top 10 list, this is actually hitting the mark pretty well, I would say, so far. Number 3, why he needed to go. Because he was a bigot. Merle really embodies every negative stereotype about ignorant, racist rednecks, and his casual racism, sexism, and bigotry gets really old really fast. Merle's ugly displays of behavior might not compare to some of the more monstrous behavior that has occurred on the series, but ultimately it's just yucky and unpleasant to watch. Not to mention, he's not the kind of character that any series wants to have in this day and age. Other good, valid point right there. All right, number 2 on the list. Why he went too soon. Because he gave Daryl dimension. Daryl is a very reserved guy and is a character of few words. But over the course of the show, he has become one of the most important members of the Walking Dead squad. And while he has clearly found a new family with the people like Carol, Rick, and Michonne, seeing Daryl with an actual blood family member that he grew up with would have been an interesting storyline to explore. And the number 1 why he needed to go reason, because he stifled Daryl's growth. All right, at this point, Daryl Dixon is arguably the most important character in the show. But to be honest, if Merle had stuck around for a long time, it seems like he may not have wound up where he is now. Merle appealed to all of Daryl's worst qualities and impulses. And while seeing Daryl lose his brother was devastating, it was probably better for his development as a person. That was a really good article. I enjoyed that. 10 very valid points right there, as opposed to yesterday's article about the 10 things we supposedly did not know about Alicia. But that was a very, very interesting article. Kat is with us on YouTube. Alyssa writes on Facebook, I wish to see Negan in the next season. He was in his best performance in season 10. Rick's return would have been fabulous, but because Rick didn't die, he was abducted by a helicopter. That is very true. Alyssa also writes, I want Negan. I need the Negan. I wish the Negan. He's fantastic with Lucille. Negan is not going anywhere anytime soon. He's going to be on the show for a while longer. So, yep, just going through the list here. Faith is with us on Instagram from Australia. Welcome, Faith, to our broadcast. Just scrolling up the list here. Aguist is waving at us. Anita is also with us on Instagram. So, let's see, guys. Hello to you too, Anita. Sussus is with us from Mexico. Welcome, Sussus. So, guys, let's get to our base topic for tonight. And we have a good one tonight, as we do every night. We're going to be talking about Lydia's relationship with Daryl and Negan. And we have a lot of points to cover. So, where do we start? Let's talk about Lydia and Daryl first. If you all remember, their first meeting was on that bridge when Daryl, Michonne, and the group they were in came across the Whisperers and the Walkers on the bridge. That's where Daryl did his really awesome trick of trying to figure out who's alive and who's dead by shooting them in the leg. And I love the scene. I think it was the second person he shot with his arrow that went down crying like a little baby, and the walkers around him just collapsed on him and ate him. Lydia survived that attack. She did pull out a knife on them, but eventually surrendered and was taken back to Hilltop as a prisoner. And that was their first meeting. They killed the Whisperers. They left Lydia. And it looked like Michonne was... Sorry, I lost the Instagram feed here. It did look like Michonne was ready to kill Lydia, but Daryl decides to take her back with them to the Hilltop. I'm having an issue getting the Instagram feed back up. So I think our Instagram people are still watching us. Let me try one more time. So let me check something. Anyway, let me just try it again. Sorry about that, guys. I hope our Instagram people are still with us. So anyway, it was Michonne who was ready to kill Lydia, but Daryl decides to take her back with them to the hilltop and try to get some information out from her. Now, when Daryl first interrogates Lydia in the cell in Hilltop, he's pretty tough on her. He doesn't go as far as he did with Randall. Randall is the character from season 2. You guys remember that scene on the farm when they were holding Randall and deciding what to do with him? Daryl beat the crap out of him when he was trying to get information about Randall's group. Daryl does not take it that far with Lydia, probably because she was a girl. Definitely, that was a big factor, and maybe of her age as well. I'm sure that was a huge factor as well. Anyway, Lydia doesn't exactly do herself any favors. She did lie about how she and her mom were the only ones left. Daryl does show some compassion, though, when he brings those pills for Lydia's ear. It looked like she might have had an ear infection or something, but Daryl noticed her discomfort and maybe felt a little bit sympathetic. She was a kid. She was a teenager. And I just want to say that scene sequence where Daryl is questioning Lydia, trying to get information from her, and also using Henry, who's in the cell next to her. He left him there on purpose, so those two who are closer in age can start talking. And they were monitoring those conversations. They would take shifts. It was Daryl and everybody else monitoring those conversations, listening in to try to get about as much information as they possibly can from about this new group that's the Whisperers. Anyway, now that, Daryl, he discovers scars on Lydia's arms. And being a victim of abuse himself, it does not take him a long time to figure out what those were. When I initially saw those, I thought one of two things. Abuse is not what came to mind. For me, when I just, saw those, I thought they might have looked like burn marks or she's been cut in some way. It didn't click right away that it was just being beat by a stick. Now, they're the same type of scars that Daryl has on his back, so he was very quick to recognize what this kid has been through, except it wasn't Lydia's father who did it. It was her mother, and that surprised him a bit. Remember, his initial thoughts were that it was her father who abused her, and the way Lydia recounts the story and how she reversed her father and mother's role to make the dad be the bad guy in the way she told the story, as opposed to her mom, that was brilliant. Brilliant by the writers on The Walking Dead. Brilliant on how they directed it, how it came to pass on the screen. I love that moment. I love that scene. One of my definitely top 20 favorite scenes on The Walking Dead. But then we see Daryl confront her about the scars on her arm when he comes back to the cell with a branch from a birch tree. He knew that she would know what that was. The abuse that Daryl and Lydia endured at the hands of a parent is how they connected with each other. And it's the very beginnings of a stronger bond that would form as time went on between those two. Daryl no longer saw Lydia as the enemy, and he felt rotten when he was faced with the prospect of having to return Lydia to her mother. He really had no choice, especially knowing what he was going to send her back to. But at the same time, like I said, he didn't have a choice. Alpha and the Whisperers were outside the gates of Hilltop, and she just brought with her a very small fraction of Whisperers. And Daryl also realized that she had the power of controlling Walker hordes. And he had no choice. He had to give her back. The Whisperers also were holding Alden and Luke hostage, and Alpha was ready to exchange them for her daughter. Daryl didn't really have any other choice at the time. He didn't like it. I'm pretty sure he hated it. Does anyone else here think Daryl did the wrong thing by turning her over to Alpha, to her mother? Did you see anyone actually him taking the other road, and that's just go straight into confrontation with the Whisperers right then and there? I think he made the right decision. CC Weezy now on YouTube says, where can Lydia's story go from here without Carl and Henry? I think Lydia's story can go a lot of different directions. I really do. Lindsay Sparks on Facebook writes, I think Daryl understood Lydia and what happened to her. Absolutely. Kat is agreeing with Lindsay. Alyssa on Facebook is replying to Sarah on Facebook as well. Let's see. Kat goes on to say on YouTube, Daryl couldn't do anything different. He was stuck between a rock and a hard place. Lindsay also says that I don't think he had a choice. I agree. Andrea on Instagram is giving us a smiley love face. Andrew Valentine on Instagram is also saying that he made the right call. I agree as well. He really did not have a choice. Anyway, after the whole thing where Henry and Lydia run off together, Daryl becomes very protective of Lydia. Daryl and Beta had that epic fight inside that abandoned building. He did not give Lydia up. He could have, but he did not. When Henry and the others were murdered at the infamous Kingdom Fair massacre by Alpha and the Whisperers, Daryl was probably the only person who still protected Lydia and became her friend. At that point, Lydia became public enemy number one within the survivors. Alden, everyone, except for Daryl, saw her as a part of them. Now, Carol, it's questionable. Carol has been through and has seen a lot to, by that point in her arc, distinguish the difference of what Lydia's mom did as opposed to Lydia being at fault. So I don't think she blamed her. And we saw that in the finale of season 9 when Lydia felt so much guilt and being ashamed for what her mother did. She tried to get herself killed. She tried many different ways. She tried to get herself bit by a walker, and then Carol is the one that stops her. And that infamous scene where Lydia and Carol are having that conversation inside that empty barn, Lydia sort of begging and pleading with Carol to kill her because it's all her fault. And Lydia tells Carol that she's weak. And Carol turns back to her and says, "You're not weak." So I think Carol understood. So Carol was sort of on her side. Daryl was absolutely on her side. But besides those two, there was nobody else. Michonne was indifferent to her. She saw the value, as we saw later on, in how keeping Lydia protected and alive in regards to not having Alpha attack was very crucial. It's very crucial. Uh, so right after Lydia is roughed up by the people bullying her, she and Daryl shared a very tender moment where she tells him how much she misses her dad and how her dad would have protected her if he was still alive. Daryl puts his arm around her and just holds her while she cries. That's an excellent moment. Do you think the relationship between Daryl and Lydia is more along the lines of Daryl being a big brother to her, or is it more of a parental figure? I think it's more of a parental figure, just because the age difference is so huge. Daryl could very easily be Lydia's father, without any question. Um, so, what do you guys think? More brother sister or more father daughter? Feel free to chat in your answers. Like I said, I see it more as a father daughter. Andrew Valentine writes Negan protected her as well. And we're going to get to Negan as well here very soon. Kat writes parental. Saz also says parental. Diana on YouTube also says parental. All right. So we're all pretty much in an agreement about that. Now, going back to Andrew's point with Negan. Okay, now let's talk about Negan's relationship with Lydia, and how were they different to the relationship that Lydia had with Daryl. I think that the common connection that Negan had with Lydia is that they're both outsiders in Alexandria at Hilltop. They're the ones that are looked on with, they're looked down upon, basically. They're the outsiders. They don't fit in. They're outcasts. They don't feel welcomed, but at the same time, they can't leave. They've got nowhere else to go. And they want to stay there, especially Negan. After he escaped, he could have gone on his way when Carol let him out. But he knew there was nothing out there for him. He tells that to Judith when he returns back when he left the first time, and he visits the sanctuary and sees what became of the sanctuary. So I think Negan, more so than Lydia, a little bit, he realizes there's no place for them to go. And for different reasons, Negan and Lydia feel trapped in that place that they don't feel like they belong to. Negan's past is still hanging over him like a very dark cloud, as it should, of all the shitty shit he's done. And Lydia, well, what the Whisperers have done is still very fresh in everybody's minds. A lot of people still see Lydia as a Whisperer, to this day still. Anyway, remember how Negan saved Lydia when she was attacked by Gage, Margo, and Alfred? Now, Margo and Alfred were part of the Highwaymen. They attacked Lydia because Alpha had killed their leader, Ozzy. Ozzy's head was one of those on the pikes up on that hill at the Kingdom Massacre. So, I keep losing the damn Instagram feed. It's starting to bug me. All right, there we go. It's back. They hated the Whisperers, and they took their hate out on her for what they did to Ozzy. Now, jumping forward to when Negan is out there after having joined the Whisperers, he captures Lydia and tries to, to tie her to that chair in that little shack that she did ultimately escape from. He captures Lydia to keep her out of the way of Alpha and to lure Alpha into a location on the pretext that he was taking her to see her daughter. This is, of course, when Negan kills Alpha. He slits her throat and takes her head to Carol. That scene is identical to the way it was done in the comic books. It's identical, and a lot of people who are fans of the comics were really happy to see that they kept how Alpha died untouched for the TV show, as she died in the comic books. So, getting back to Negan and Lydia, in the final scene of season 10 that we saw so far, the two of them share together. Lydia lashes out at Negan. She takes out her frustrations out on him, and you can see that Lydia is struggling with her emotions. On the one hand, she says she is angry with Negan, that he killed Alpha for his own selfish reasons, just so that he can be seen as a hero by the community. And she also goes on to say that she wants to hate her mother, and how is telling her that she can't even do that. She feels that Negan has robbed her of wanting to hate her mother. In a way, I think she is also grieving for her. It's her mom. Abusive, crazy as Alpha was, Alpha did love Lydia. I don't think any of us can really question that. Alpha really did love Lydia. She lied to the group. The fact that she told her group that she killed her. She was obviously very tough on her. There's no doubt about that. She did trust Daryl to protect her. That's why Michonne knew that and was very keen and expressed that to Daryl on nothing bad can happen to Alpha, because just like how they said it on the show, Alpha has a nuclear bomb, and that nuclear bomb is the Walker horde that she can unleash on the communities anytime she wished. Anyway, Alpha was her mom. Whatever she did, nothing can ever change that. So Lydia breaks down and cries, and Negan takes her into his arms. And for me, that moment was very touching, because the look that Negan had on his face, his heart was breaking for this young girl. He really felt bad. And we all know Negan has a thing for kids. He likes kids. And even though, she's not a little kid, she's a teenager, he still sees her as a kid who is trying to deal with her emotions. Her mom was just killed. She doesn't know how to feel about that. She's in a community where she's not really accepted, as is Negan. They share that. That will always be something that they share. So it's going to be interesting in this finale. We haven't really discussed what Lydia's role is going to be in this upcoming finale that we're going to get on October 4th. We've discussed almost everyone else. We've discussed who might kill Beta, Daryl, even Judith was mentioned as possibly killing Beta. But as far as what Lydia's role is going to be in this finale, we have no idea. And what we've all learned from watching The Walking Dead for so long is it's that one thing that we as fans have not thought of that is the thing that happens. That's why they're always able to keep surprising us. We have so much time to analyze what's going to happen in this finale. And I have heard theories ranging far and wide. But I guarantee you guys, the thing that's actually going to happen is something that we have not yet discussed. As weird as that may seem, they always manage to do that. And that's always like, wow. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how they manage to always keep surprising us, especially after 10 seasons. Anyway, what do you guys make of that scene? That final scene between Negan and Lydia, the last time we saw them together. I think that Negan and the Lydia relationship is a more complicated one than the Daryl and Lydia relationship. Please share your thoughts. and let me know what you guys think. I think both Daryl and Negan love Lydia in different ways. They're both, Daryl is definitely more of a parental figure to Lydia. As in regards to Negan and Lydia, whether it's parental, no, I don't see that. Big brother, little sister, no, I don't see that either. So, in my opinion, if I was to classify Lydia's and Negan's relationship, I would have to put it in a category of friends. Friends who share a common bond, many different bonds together, and one of understanding each other. So does Daryl and Lydia as well with the abusive parents, but that's the difference I see in Lydia's relationship between Daryl and Negan. Dark Ree 666 is waving at us on Instagram. Let's see, just scrolling up. Saeed is with us from Canada. Welcome. Nora on Instagram is giving us a smiley love face. So let me see. I'm just scrolling up to see what of the some of the chats that I might have missed. 6Z is giving us a smiley love face. Vile is with us on Facebook from the Philippines saying good morning. Welcome, Vile. Thank you for joining us. Anyway, guys, we are out of time for tonight. Just doing a last scroll. Anita is also saying that they're friends. Yeah, that's how I see it, Anita. It's more of a friends between Negan and Lydia. Not parental, not siblings, just friends that have an understanding of one another. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. It's been great spending this hour with you. Please visit our website, deadtalklive.com. Go to our YouTube channel. If you're not there already, subscribe. If you're there now, please hit the thumbs up button on this broadcast. I'm going to keep reminding you guys at the end of every show, Michael Satrazemis is going to be our special guest here Friday. Longtime director, co-executive producer, has been with The Walking Dead since the very beginning. Fascinating person, and he has seen characters, all the characters come, a lot of characters go. I'm so pumped up for Friday, so please make sure you tune in Friday night to see our interview with Michael Satrazemis from The Walking Dead. And until tomorrow night, guys, remember to always stay walking. Take care.